Good day, dear readers. Welcome back to my channel. As you know, my native language is Russian, therefore I read books in Russian. However, I've always tried to read in English, and I thought I'd show you some books I own in English. The first book over here is The Hound of Baskervilles by Arthur Conan Doyle. My mom bought this to me in 2010. Back then my English skills weren't that great and I couldn't read this. Then I got the Russian version. I will read this one day. Next book over here, Adventures of Huckleberry Finn by Mark Twain. I have owned this since 2007. I tried to read this, but it was too hard for me. And what I really don't like about this edition is that it has very small font. Nevertheless, I like this edition and I'm keeping it, at least until I get another version. Next book over here, Unfinished Tales of Numenor and Middle-earth by J.R. Tolkien. I've had this since December 2019 and still haven't read it. I read only first 20-something pages and I will continue reading this, but in December, because December is when I am in mood for Tolkien most of all. First two Harry Potter series, Book 1, the Hufflepuff edition, and Book 2. I need to buy the rest of these. The next book over here is David Copperfield by Charles Dickens. I bought this one in 2019 and I read it till page 228. I will continue this one. This one is The Secret Garden by Frances Hobson Burnett. I hope I pronounced her name right. I've had this one since 2013. I tried to read this multiple times and I finally read it a few years ago. I really liked the film, the 1993 film. It was very good. And it's one of my favorite films and I'd watch it again. 100 Anecdotes in English. The Diary of a Wimpy Kid by Keaney. My private English tutor went to the US and she brought this to me. I read it and it was a fun book, although today I realized that it had its dark moments. Another book from my English private tutor, however this one I took from her. This is Shaggy Dog English. It's a collection of anecdotes and it's originally from Poland. A Game of Thrones by George R. Martin. I also gifted the same copy to my friend and we read it together, the prologue. Another book by George R. Martin and it's Fever Dream. I bought this one in 2016 and it was very hard for me to read, therefore I later bought the Russian version. Also, it's kinda ruined. I wrote the translations of words I didn't know and then I accidentally put Pepsi over it, unfortunately. I take good care of my books. It was an accident, but I'm keeping it. Next book I have is Bohemian Rhapsody, the definitive biography of Freddie Mercury by Leslie Ann Jones. If you are a fan of Queen, or at least Freddie Mercury, I recommend this. The Kingkiller Chronicle series by Patrick Rothfuss, The Name of the Wind, Wise Man's Spear. I love The Name of the Wind so much. It's one of my favorite books and I mentioned that in my all-time favorite books video. It's absolutely amazing. I recommend this one. This one was quite good, but I liked it less than the first one. Will Grayson by John Green and David Leuthen. I'm sorry, I can't pronounce his name. This book actually isn't mine. I found this at my cousin's house and I literally stole it from him. He bought this one when he was around 10 or 11 years old, trying to learn English, but it was too hard for him, and it also wasn't age appropriate for him, therefore I took it. 21 Lessons for the 21st Century by Juval Noah Harari. I hope I pronounced his name right. Now I have mixed thoughts about this book, very mixed. And for a while I wasn't sure whether I wanted to keep this on my bookshelf, but eventually I decided yes. Maybe I will reread it. However, one thing I really learned, one lesson from this book, is that fiction is so much better than non-fiction. You can learn much more from fiction than from non-fiction. The Girl King by Meg Clothier. I've had this one since 2016. It's a historical fiction about Georgian Queen Tamar. An American woman came to Georgia and she was interested in the history and she wrote this. I still haven't read it except for the first chapter. I need to read it. More Tolkien stuff on fairy stories. Children of Húrin, Beren and Lúthien. I need more Tolkien. This one is an essay where Tolkien talks about the importance of fairy stories and escapism. It's a very good essay, although it was quite hard for me to read. These derive from the Silmarillion. If you read the Silmarillion, you are going to love this. This one is actually a very dark story. It's probably the darkest story in the Silmarillion. And this one, on the other hand, is the brightest story and my favorite. This one means a lot to me. One of my future videos, I will explain why. His Dark Materials by Philip Pullman. This one has all three books: Northern Lights, The Subtle Knife and The Amber Spyglass. I wanted to read his Dark Materials for quite a long time. I had the first book while I was still in Moscow, but I wasn't interested to read it, and finally this book found me in 2020. I loved the first two books, although there were some flaws, but I hated The Amber Spyglass. We'll talk about this one day. Complete collections of Sherlock Holmes. I originally intended only to buy the first part, only the first one. And then I realized this one also has Martin Freeman on the cover and I just couldn't leave him in the store. And the last book over here is the Ecobook by Jk Rowling. Rowling is always able to reach me. I loved it. It's a very thrilling book and Jk Rowling is capable of writing dark and mature themes in children's novel. This isn't a children's fairy tale, this is a political thriller disguised as a children's book. The edition is very nice pages, artwork is very nice. And that's it. These are all the books in English I own. I want to say is that I have a lot of Penguin Readers books, but they deserve a separate video, and there are also books in English that are meant to get on hold, but I decided not to show them here. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Subscribe for more content. See you next time. Bye.